So welcome back to the More Nick Ackerman channel. Let's take a look at the Infinix Note 40 Pro Plus 5G. What a name. Super long name, but hey, they decided they wanted to send this out. So I said, let's take a look at this. And if you're not aware of this brand is it's a young brand. They were founded in 2013, but they've been expanding lately. They're mostly targeting Southeast Asia. So if you're from there, it's going to be something to think about. Also, a few EU countries, not available in the US though. So if you're looking for this in the US, it's probably not going to be easy to find. But Note 40 Pro Plus 5G, you can see comes with a 100-watt all-around FastCharge 2.0, a 20-watt wireless MagSafe. We also have a 3D curve 6.78-inch display that's 120 hertz, a 100 megapixel OIS super zoom camera, active halo, AI lighting, a sound by JBL, and Dimensity 7020, similar to what we've seen in the Nothing Phone 2A. We also have up to 24 gigs of expanded RAM with the RAM booster mode. So pretty decent specs. And if we zoom in a little bit more, I like how they put the specs on the box because most phone makers don't do this anymore. But you'll see a full HD 1080 by 2438 resolution. This is a 4600 milliamp hour battery. It's 5G. Their own XOS 14 skin on top of Android 14. And we do have ourselves a front camera of 32 megapixels. And then the rear camera setup is 108 plus 2 megapixels plus 2 megapixels. So not your best, but this phone, keep in mind the price is going to go for right around that $300 price range. So it's pretty darn low in the price range. I have to say, the box is definitely letting you know everything that comes on board here. We got NFC. This is a 256 gig model, signed by JBL. They're definitely letting you know. So let's go ahead and see what comes in this box. It's definitely quite shiny. It's green. It's a very neon fluorescent like green. This is definitely not something I've seen before on a box. It's pretty shiny. But let's go ahead and open it up, and you could see. We'll go ahead and get inside the box. They did give you a MagPad. This is a wireless magnetic charger, and there's a case that you have to put on to go ahead and connect this charger, but it's kind of like a MagSafe charger. So in the box, more branding. You could see where it says the all-around FastCharge 2.0, and I'll talk about what that means a little bit later in the video. And you'll see right here our Note 40 Pro Plus 5G. A lot more branding once again. Maybe a little bit over branded, honestly. It could be a little bit more minimal than that. But I actually already did open this up, because I had to get it set up before this quick video review. You'll see in here, they do give you a SIM card tool. That's kind of nice. Also in here, we do have ourselves a MagSafe charging case, and it's a good thing they gave me a case because you're probably not going to find a lot of accessories for this phone. So definitely a good case there. Then we do have ourselves some screen protector that came in here as well. That's quite nice. It's for a curved screen, although you better not mess this up because you only get one in there. And then you get some Infinix stickers here. So they have an X1 Cheetah, a FastCharge in there. They have a few more branding stickers. So lots of branding. I'm not a big fan of all this branding. They could probably tone it down a little bit, but they are not a very well-known brand. So maybe they're trying to let you know who they are. Something like that. Splash proof is because this is an IP53 display. It's only splash proof. It's not like water resistant like an IP68, for example. So there's a couple of messages on the back here before we look at the phone. It says, please avoid applying UV adhesive near the side buttons on the right side of the phone when attaching the protective film, as this may cause abnormal usage of the side buttons. This phone also supports 20-watt wireless charging. MagCharge requires an Infinix branded magnetic attachment phone case. That is true. You can't charge this magnetically without that case, but you can charge it on some other third-party MagSafe style accessories. I've already tried it. It works with the case on provided. Cover glass of the display is manufactured by Corning Gorilla Glass here. Corning and Gorilla Glass are trademarks of Corning Incorporated. So they're basically saying that's not our glass. That's just who we're using here. And so you can see, first thing that strikes me about this phone is the leather rear. It's like a pleather, like a fake leather back. It's nice though, because this doesn't really pick up fingerprints and it kind of looks classy. This big bulging camera box up here, I'm not a big fan of this. They've taken stovetop to the next level because that's literally a square stovetop up there. But you have this AI halo lighting up here, and it does have some branding there. I'm not sure if I can pick it up. Maybe 108 megapixel OIS super zoom right there. So definitely some decent branding. and you'll see Infinix right there, 5G. Now on the right side, you're going to see a polished aluminum gold. This is the green color. They also have a obsidian black. There is the volume rockers and the power button. They're very, very thin, so you'll have to feel those out. At the bottom, you'll see a USB-C 2.0. You're not going to get 3.0 on a phone this cheap. And you also do have the SIM card tray. Let's go ahead and see if they have expandable memory in there. I'm going to go and click that right there. Let's pull this out. And it says right here, we do have ourselves SIM 1, SIM 2. So it doesn't look like we have expandable memory on board. I'm not going to get mad at them for that. At least they're giving me 256 gig. On the left, just more polished aluminum. You could see curved edges. So another curved Android phone, nothing special. We've seen this before. And then you'll see up here, what is special is they have an IR blaster up here, microphone hole. And they are letting you know once again up at the top, this is a JBL partnership right here on this phone. And that's good. The sound is going to be pretty immersive and quite nice that comes out this phone. All right, so let's go ahead and boot this up right here. You're going to see the Infinix branding once again. And then we'll go ahead and open this up here. I hope I'm saying it right. Infinix. I think that's how you say it. Infinix. Nah, that's probably not how you say it. So you could see we have ourselves this is the other side of the world charger, not the US charger, but USB-C. You can get adapters for that though. 100 watt though, that's crazy for the price. You're getting a 100-watt charger. Let me go ahead and put my password in right there. I skipped all the setup process. That's boring. I'm not going to waste your time with that. We'll go over here and you'll see what is neat though is that this phone, I think it's funny how some of these cheaper brand phones always include everything that some of these more premium phone makers don't include. We do have ourselves the USB-C to USB-C for that huge charger, but this is a neat one right here. You get yourself some USB-C headphones right in the box. That's not usually included in smartphones these days. So I kind of like that. That's quite nice indeed. All right, so let's quickly review this thing. You know, we do have ourselves a thin phone here, 8.1 millimeters, 6.78 inch display. This is OLED. This thing only weighs 190 grams. I can tell you with the curved panels, the lightweight and the thin body, this thing feels very comfortable for its size. I really quite like the comfortable feel. It kind of reminds me of a OnePlus phone from a couple years ago though. A lot of these curved Android phones, they just kind of look and feel the same. If I'm being totally honest with you, there's nothing that really stands out to me on this phone that blows me away in terms of just kind of the design. This definitely stands out as it looks different, but this doesn't feel like anything crazy out of the ordinary, if you know what I mean. It's pretty standard Android curved flagship kind of feel. The only thing is a lot of Android manufacturers now are going away from curved displays. So this kind of feels like a yesteryear flagship, albeit maybe a year or two ago. So not terrible. In terms of the display, let's move on here. You have quite a few features in the display department. If we go down to display and brightness, you'll see they have an eye care mode. We can go to a high brightness mode, which can increase the intensity. And then also we have color styles right here for bright color. This also has pretty high PWM, so you won't see a lot of flickering, pretty easy on the eye. You have the ability to change between warm colors and cool colors or default it there. And here's the big news. 120 hertz adaptive refresh here. You can auto switch. I'm not sure it's exactly adaptive, but you definitely can auto switch, and that's really important to save battery life. This phone also has a very nice overall brightness for its price. So it's like 1300 nits. That's very good. Has good auto brightness. I tried it outdoors. It was decently legible. Nothing like a $1,000 phone, but it was decent. We have ourselves a dark theme right there. And then you have this active halo lighting as well. This thing will light up as well. On the back, we'll show that a little bit later. But the display itself is a typical curved display. It's pretty premium looking. You have this edge panel over here where you can kind of bring in some features. That's quite neat. And it's just going to be pretty decent. Also, if we go down here to some special functions, they have a dynamic bar, which we all know what that kind of looks like. But definitely to have that, you can do it with a face unlock. You can do it with a call. You can do this with a record or with charging. So that's going to expand to be like a dynamic bar up there. That's just something this display does as well. I notice it doesn't rotate in the home screen. I could be wrong though. This is my first look at an Infinix phone, so I'm not going to be perfect with everything on this review. So if I'm wrong and it rotates, let me know. But I don't see it rotating right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the wallpapers. Got to hold down here. We'll hit wallpapers. You'll see, again, I don't know why, but a lot of these, they kind of look OnePlus like. So let's go over here and you'll see plenty of wallpapers in there. And then we'll go over here to live wallpapers. You'll see we have Magic Touch. There's quite a few live wallpapers in here. There's also a feature where you can do some AI generation as well. This is kind of weird that you would get AI on a phone this price point, and then you're not getting it on some other phones at that price point. So there's an AI wallpaper generator as well on board. So they're not forgetting about that. Let's go ahead and bring this brightness down a little bit. You can see right there, you can just kind of like write in what you want it to generate and then pick the picture and you'll be good to go. Also, here on the display, there is an always on display with plenty of customization options. Kind of insane the amount of customization options you can get with this always on display. So let's go back here. So I applied that one. So let's click more here and you'll see just the mount. There's a lot of customization. However, I think that, you know, it's going to, like, once you're done using these, you're not going to have too much more unless you go to a third party on the App Store to see even more. But you can change fonts, colors, all kinds of stuff. The list goes on. There's a lot of personalization you can do with this phone, just like most other Android phones in this kind of category. When it comes to the software, we're looking at their XOS skin on top of Android 14. Basically, this phone feels like any other, like, Android phone with the skin on top, kind of like a OnePlus style, a Xiaomi style. Kind of feels like that. It really does. A ZTE phone, something like that. Like, it just doesn't feel too much different. This control center is kind of reminding me a lot of iOS. Not a fan of that. The squared icons, I would probably change that as well. There is quite a bit of bloatware. This, like, Palm Store, like this player over here, this Office, there's a few. This is customer support, and then AHA Games. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Let's see what that is. Is that a built-in app from them? Yeah, so, like, there's a lot of, like, weird apps that, like, I'm not going to ever use, so I wouldn't have those installed. I'm probably going to uninstall them after this video. But they do have a compass. They do have a voice recorder, a notepad. You do have an FM player, so you could stick your headphones in here and use FM. They have their own browser. Folax is like their voice assistant, so they have a voice assistant and health app. But a lot of these apps, they need some polish. A lot of them look kind of generic, if I'm being honest with you. I just got to be straight up honest. Some of these apps, they need some polish because they look pretty cheap and generic overall. But again, I can't be too hard on them because what are you paying for a phone like this? You're not paying iPhone prices and you're not paying Samsung prices for a phone like this. And as if we dive into settings, it's pretty simple. It's just a straight up list. But if you dive into the special functions, they got quite a few. They got a dynamic bar. Let me go ahead and turn on dark mode because it's kind of tough to see these like that. You got a dynamic bar, a floating windows. You can increase the RAM right here to a virtual RAM of up to 12 gigs. So pretty good. And then we have a smart panel right here. You have a game mode where you can go in there. I also found it kind of nice. They have this game anti-addiction mode. There's a reminder to tell you to stop gaming if you're gaming too much. I like that they're looking out for that. That's pretty cool. Graphic enhancements. There's also a smart hub that you can use. This is fun. There's a lot of fun features in here. I'm not going to lie to you. It's definitely seems like there's quite a bit of fun you can have with this phone. You're not going to get too bored with this one. I do kind of like the way the icons look on the side. They're not bad looking. You have some app management. And overall, it's pretty simple with a few added benefits with plenty of customization and theming. I think once you get this set up, it could be a pretty decent software experience, although I do worry about its long-term software updates performance. Honestly, this phone and phones like the Nothing Phone 2A, some Poco phones out there, they're really showing you that 120 hertz is making a lot of difference. But the Mediatek on here, the 7020 Dimensity, this thing for the price has been pretty darn good. It has pretty good heat management. It has decent performance. It could run the 120 hertz displays. it gives you nearly a flagship kind of feel without the flagship price. So it's nice. It's pretty decent. It's not going to give you, oh, there goes the phone. It's not going to give you the Snapdragon, type of performance, but you're going to be able to run your apps and do your daily tasks pretty okay with this 7020. It's not that bad. It really isn't. When it comes to the battery life, 4600 milliamp hour battery. What's cool is that they have this like really setup with FastCharge 2.0. So essentially there's a lot of battery protection with this phone. That's what I was learning. You can do some MagSafe 20 watt. You can do 100 watt. It has a lot of like settings to ensure that you don't damage the battery. And also it has some settings where you can make it go faster or slower. You can show the battery percentage, a low battery warning shutdown, a charging complete tone. It's got a lot of battery settings in here and some pretty good charging abilities. The reverse wireless charging is pretty insane for this price. I don't usually see that. Also, AI charging protection. It will learn your routine. You can do bypass charging right here. You can do charging. It tells you about some charging safety protection. So they really paid attention to the battery and the charging. It's a really cool thing about this phone that I noticed. It's a little nice enhancement. You don't see a lot of phones really putting a lot of effort into that. They just kind of throw in a good fast charge and they move on. But I like how they threw quite a bit of features related to the battery in here. All right, when it comes to the cameras, I actually took photos with this already, and I got to tell you, well, let's take a look at the cameras themselves first. If we go into the camera itself, you can see we have this triple setup. I'm not exactly sure what they mean super zoom because this thing only zooms 10 times zoom. So 10 times is the max. And then I could say on the 1X, the photos are pretty decent. The 3X, they're also pretty decent, but beyond that, it's a mess. It's not really that great. You also have the 108 megapixel, which can give you a really high quality shot right there. You have the ability to change the aspect ratios up there. And then we have some video. This phone tops out at 2K. It's weird. I've never seen phones topping out at 2K. They usually have some kind of 4K mode. So that's a con for sure. I wish this phone, come on, like you put all these features, but you can't put 4K 30. Like that's a L. They need to put 4K on the next one of this phone. Super night modes. You can see pro mode, short videos. Overall, a lot going on. You can have some fun in here. But the actual results, when all said and done, they even have a film mode. When all said and done, they're solid. They don't look pro to me, but they're solid. They're okay. These shots, the color doesn't look quite accurate. It's got a very sharp look to it, but the color is a little bit too colorful, in my opinion. Also, the front-facing camera totally like overexposed me here. It made me look kind of like a ghost right there. So decent. Not terribly disappointed, but when I zoom in, it just falls apart. Over here, you could see, look at the level of noise right there. I mean, I could see it, but there's plenty of noise in there. Again, with the buildings, pretty decent sharpness here. My overall thing on this camera is it's solid. It's just not, it's not blowing me away. It's pretty good, especially if you stay on the main lenses, but the color is not super accurate. That's my problem. Also, the video is okay as well. It's not the most stable, but you can zoom in. You can't expect the flagship level camera here. You just can't. You get a lot of features, but you can't expect flagship level. This phone has an active halo lighting, so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So you could see it right here. It can show on notifications. That's pretty cool. You could change the colors of it. Let's preview that one. See that orange right there? And let's go ahead and see that right there. Pretty cool. So it's something different. It is definitely separating them a little bit, giving them a little bit of a difference here. And then the flashlight on this phone also is pretty neat. It like uses these LEDs around the ring. It's pretty cool. It's very bright actually, super bright. Then on the front, I haven't seen this very often, but this phone actually has a flashlight on the front of the camera. So let's go over here. Bang, you can see right there a flashlight. So it could be a little vlog light, but again, I didn't find the camera that great, so I don't know how much that's going to help me, but you have a front flashlight if you care. So that's it with this phone. JBL audio is pretty good. If you're in the Southeast Asian market or wherever this phone is available and you're watching this video, this phone right here is a solid phone for the price. You're getting a phone that feels like a phone that could cost $700-800, but there are some sacrifices. The camera's not super amazing. They could work on that. There's no 4K on the camera. It tops out at 2K. It zooms about 10 times, but you get 108 megapixel. But if you value pretty good performance, you value good battery life, a beautiful display, you're going to like this phone quite a bit. This has a really nice OLED panel on board. But that's my first review of this brand, Infinix. I'm not sure if we'll cover more, but let me know your thoughts on these type of phones. Have you enjoyed the review? Do you want to see more like this? Some other brands? Let me know down below in the comments. That's my review on the Infinix Note 40 Pro Plus 5G 100 watt fast charge 2. I'm out of here. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.